This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
I'm Roby Brock. Welcome to this edition of Talk Business and Politics. It was day 100 of the 93rd Arkansas General Assembly. Was today the day that the state's Medicaid budget passed the House of Representatives? After 5 tries, the answer was yes. The House finally passed the full Medicaid budget for the Department of Human Services, which includes the always controversial Medicaid expansion program, formerly known as Arkansas Works, now known as AR Home. The budget bill passed on a 78-15 vote. There has been a behind-the-scenes tug-of-war between supporters of the Medicaid expansion and some wanting a larger used car tax cut. In the end, the two factions finally found some common ground. When we come back, details on the governor's weekly COVID-19 press conference, and KATV senior political reporter Maureen Glisovic joins us to talk politics. Stay tuned. Talk Business and Politics is sponsored in part by Capital Advisors Group and...
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas. Our 17 electric distribution cooperatives are working day and night to provide reliable, affordable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses, just like yours. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. But if you're looking for something more, Walmart has you covered. We provide quality care, no appointment necessary. Whether you're looking for fresh, healthy groceries to fill your prescription, get a flu shot, or pick up your next pair of glasses, we're standing by with in-store health professionals available across the country to offer patient-first, affordable care whenever you need it. Apples, optional.
Well, the governor held his weekly press conference on COVID-19, and he had this to say. Governor Hutchinson said the state was 27,000 shots away from his goal of 1 million vaccines. He said he expects to hit that goal this week. Of those above the age of 18, 41% of Arkansas has been partially or fully vaccinated. That's below the national average, he said. Older folks above age 65 are doing their part, but Hutchinson said the 18 to 64 age group is the group that needs to step up its vaccinations. These people tend to be healthier and busier and think they can do it later, he said. Hutchinson also said the race gap between Black and white residents has shrunk to just 4% among those getting vaccinations. You can catch more coverage of the governor's press conference at our website at talkbusiness.net. When we come back, KATV's Maureen Glisovic on things happening at the state capitol. Stay with us. Talk Business and Politics is sponsored in part by Impact Management Group and...
We have a large commitment to our solar for good reason. It lowers customers' rates. It's emissions-free.
Entergy Arkansas is the largest provider of solar in the state of Arkansas.
Utility-scale solar is much more economic for customers. We're going to operate it. We're going to maintain it. We're going to focus on it. That's what we do for a living.
We want to continue to find ways to partner with our customers to meet their renewable energy goals.
Customers want this. We want to provide it. So our commitment is for the long term.
Here's to the fearless fight, the comeback, the battle against all odds. For some, it's taking the first step. For others, it's forging a new path, a chance to prove to ourselves what we're really made of. And with the name trusted in insurance for more than 70 years, even a battered spirit can come back stronger. Arkansas Blue Cross and Blue Shield, live fearless.
Joining me now is Maureen Glisovic. She is the senior political reporter for KATV. Always good to be with you, Maureen. Thanks for being with us.
Always a pleasure, Roby.
2 proposed constitutional amendments seem to be gaining some momentum in the state legislature. Can you tell us a little bit about what they would do?
Well, one of the amendments would actually create it to where if a grassroots movement or groups such as those who put medical marijuana on the ballot or even casinos on the ballot, they would have to actually have 60% of the vote for it to be passed. So 60% of Arkansans would have to vote for a specific constitutional amendment before it could become law.
All right. Well, that's a little bit of a high threshold here. Does it also, I think it also applies to the legislative referred ones as well, correct?
It is my understanding. So during, election season, and especially when, the legislature gets together, they have an opportunity to come up with their own constitutional amendment package, if you will, of what they would like to see voters vote on, whether it's for or against. And so it is also going to create a system where even just lawmakers providing those proposals and constitutional amendments, they will also have to be passed by 60% of the vote. Very interesting.
And the second proposal that's gaining some momentum gives the legislature a little bit more power, which will be controversial.
Of course, as expected. Typically right now, it is the governor that has to call for a special session for lawmakers to gather if there is something that they couldn't get done during the legislative session, or if it's a budget issue during budget sessions. There are things that come up all the time, and the governor can ask for a special session if needed. Now, the governor, Governor Hutchinson has called for special sessions over the years. He's also said that it was not necessary to have a special session because you are talking about taxpayer dollars going toward having to bring all the legislators in to the state capitol here from all over the state, putting them up as usual. And so that's just a lot of taxpayer dollars that are spent during that time when you've got the governor right now that can call for it. Now we're potentially looking at allowing legislators to ask and be able to do their own special session. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting to say the least. All right, let's talk about a bill that you're going to be following later this week. It deals with sports betting online. Can you tell me a little bit about what this bill proposes and maybe what your expectations are?
Well, Representative Lee Johnson filed this bill, I believe, on Tuesday or Monday it was. And what it does is pretty much it's telling the Arkansas Racing Commission that they have to come up with rules. Right now, to be able to put a sports bet in the state of Arkansas, you have to either be at Oaklawn, Saracen, or Southland. You have to be in the casino. And so when we passed this as voters here in 2018, it allowed for online or remote sports betting. However, the Racing Commission has never come up with the rules. Now, I have reached out to the Department of Finance and Administration. They have no estimate on how many more tax dollars they could bring if they opened it up to online. So kind of like when people are using the Oaklawn Anywhere app and they're betting on horses right at home, this is what the bill would do, is that it would tell the Racing Commission that you guys need to come up with these rules and start implementing this if the casinos want it. I did reach out to Saracen, and they are prepared. They have the technology in place and they're ready to go. I still do have to reach out to a couple of the other casinos, but it is my understanding that according to the Racing Commission spokesperson, neither three casinos have actually officially approached the Racing Commission and asked for them to set these rules. What I expect to happen, we shall see. I'm not sure about Oaklawn or Southland, how they feel about opening up remote online sports betting, but I can tell you that Saracen is all for it, according to their spokesperson, and they're ready for it.
All right. Well, we'll see if there's enough time for them to get that bill through into the governor's desk, because we are running out of time in this legislative session. I'm hearing there may be an end in sight. How close could we be to the light at the end of the tunnel, Maureen?
Well, I'm hoping it's next week. I'm hearing that it could possibly be next Wednesday, so we shall see. I know that they have to get a lot of things done and passed before then. We've been watching the committee meetings here where we've looked at where they're pushing it. There's a bill that you want to run in committee. They're pushing people to run that because there's still the whole process of it. I do want to make note on the sports online betting is that bill's actually not necessary because it's already in the law that we can do this. So I'm hearing that it's maybe a push for the Racing Commission to finally put the rules out, but hopefully legislative session's done next week.
All right. She's Maureen Glisovic. She's KATV senior political reporter. She's been contributing to Talk Business and Politics all through the session. Maybe one more week to go, Maureen. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Roby.
All right. That's all for today's program. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you next time.